All right, guys, I have another video for you this morning. It's coming out of Michigan. Now, I'm going to give you the editorial and then don't tune away because right after is going to be a video recording of the actual arrest. Okay, and then also a couple stories down, I'm going to be giving you a story about an officer that delivered a baby. So I've had people say, do any cops do good in your eyes? You always do stories about bad cops. Not always. When I come across a good cop story, I'll give it to you. And like I said, a couple stories down, I'm kind of mumbling here. I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep my thoughts together. But a couple stories down, I'm going to give you a story about a cop who delivered a baby at 1:30 in the morning. Awesome. In the back of a lady's car, or maybe in the front. I don't remember, but it's in her car. She gives birth, and guess who's there playing doctor? Mr. Police Officer. So I'm going to give that one to you too, a cop that delivered a baby. But let's get back to this one. Yes, we're going back to a bad cop story or a good cop story. I don't know. Maybe they're good cops. I didn't mean to say imply that they were bad cops. They're just, somebody is saying they didn't like the way these police officers out of Michigan arrested this person. So I'm going to give you the story and then the video to follow. I'm going to let you judge whether you believe it was a good arrest or a bad arrest. Thank you to NBC News for this story. A Lansing, Michigan police officer is on paid administrative leave, and police have launched a review of a violent arrest captured on video in which officers appear to strike a man during an arrest Tuesday night. Officers used a taser stun gun and delivered strikes during a lengthy struggle with a combative 25-year-old, police said in a statement on Wednesday, which was Veterans Day. Police Chief Darrell Green ordered one officer who has not been identified to be placed on leave and said that an internal affairs investigation will review the conduct of all officers involved. The incident, which unfolded around 11:20 p.m. on a sidewalk, was captured by a bystander who described the force used as excessive. The video appears to show 5 officers pinning the man to the ground, with some striking him and giving commands that included for the man to get on his stomach. The man appears to say at one point, "Why are you hitting me?" At another point, an officer yells, "Give me your hand," and the man says, "I didn't do it." Police said in a statement that officers were responding to a report of a fight involving 5 to 6 people and had determined that the 25-year-old man was the primary suspect in the assault incident. Police said he resisted arrest, and during the lengthy struggle to secure the suspect, officers deployed a taser and delivered strikes. When the video begins, at least one officer appears to be grappling with the man who has his arms around the officer's waist before more officers arrive and the group goes to the ground. The man who said he shot the video, Brandon Hayduck, said he was going to a store when he saw a male officer confronting the man. The officer told the man to go to a police vehicle and mentioned a wiffle bat being thrown in the street, Hayduck said. He said when he came out of the store, the male officer and a female officer were engaging physically with the gentleman, and more officers arrived, and that's when he began recording from his car. Hayduck says, quote, "I understand that if someone's resisting arrest, you have to subdue them. It doesn't take much to see the excessive force in that video." The 25-year-old was not identified in the police statement, but police said he was evaluated at a hospital, something the department says is a standard when a taser is used, and he was cleared and taken to a detention center. Formal charges will be brought by the Ingham County prosecutor, police have said. A police spokesman did not immediately return a request for comment seeking more details on Veterans Day night, Wednesday. Police said 2 officers sustained minor injuries. Green, the police chief, completed a preliminary inquiry and placed 1 officer on paid administrative leave, but the statement does not say whether Green made any conclusions about the conduct. Lansing Mayor Andy Shore said Wednesday afternoon that the chief immediately began a review, that the department released details, and an investigation has been launched, the Lansing State Journal newspaper reported. In the video at one point, the man arrested says, "I can't breathe," and officers appear to immediately get off him, with one saying, "Roll him over so he can breathe." Now, and then it mentions George Floyd and Eric Garner, which both uttered the words, "I can't breathe." But you notice how there's a couple things I want to get to. First of all, I've watched the video, and it does look excessive, but the man is struggling, and they quoted the man as saying, "I didn't do it." So possibly he is resisting arrest. He is fighting with them. That's quite possible by the statement, "I didn't do it." Rather, he should just say, "Okay, fine. I'm going to sue every one of you. Every one of you are getting sued," as he complies and lets them handcuff him. That's what he should have done. Because when you fight with the police, look, they hold all the marbles. So in the game of marbles, you're going to lose. You have none. They got it. You can't win against the police. But by his words of "I didn't do it," maybe he was fighting them. So yeah, it looks excessive, but if he was fighting them and swinging and doing what he had to do to get away, they have to do what they have to do to effect an arrest and investigate. Now, people are going to say, well, if you're being falsely arrested, you have the right to defend yourself. We don't know that he was being falsely arrested, because as they said, an officer mentioned a wiffle bat being thrown in the street. He was the prime suspect. Hey, it's not uncommon for somebody to lie. "I didn't do it," and he did it. Even our own president, Bill Clinton, when he says he didn't have any type of, inappropriate relations with that woman. And then all of a sudden he says, "I admit I did have inappropriate relations with Monica Lewinsky." I mean, come on. He backpedaled and said, "Oh, yeah, I did, but no, you lied." So basically, it's not uncommon for someone who gets caught doing something to lie and say, "I didn't do it." Yeah, you did. We saw you. I've seen on Cops, a guy jumps out of the driver's seat of a car while Cops is filming. He runs away. Another cop catches him, and Cops catches up with him with the camera. This is the show Cops. And the guy who jumped out of the driver's seat and ran says to the cop while he's laying in the grass, "I wasn't driving no car. What are you talking about? I wasn't driving a car. I was walking over here." And I'm like, dude, you're on TV getting out of the driver's seat. So my point is here, it's not uncommon for somebody to lie. This guy saying, "I didn't do it," doesn't mean he didn't do it. It means he's saying that. He could have done it. So this could have been a good arrest. Sorry I'm belaboring that, but I had to make a point there. Another thing I want to talk about was, it's down at the bottom here, them saying, "I can't breathe," and then the officer says, "Roll him over so he can breathe." It looks like Lansing, Michigan, they're learning. I mean, to a point, they're learning something. They could have stayed on him. They could have said, "Oh, shut up," and stayed on him and kept trying to handcuff him. We've seen instance after instance where someone says, "I can't breathe," and then they die. And people are like, "Well, they died from drug inducement, and they died." They said they couldn't breathe, and then they die. I mean, it doesn't take much to connect the dots. If someone says, "I can't breathe," and the cops stay on top of them, that's not helping them breathe. So Lansing, Michigan, the police officers there are learning, because he says, "I can't breathe." They say, "Roll him over so he can breathe. Let him breathe." They're learning. And that's what we want, isn't it? Don't we want these law enforcement officers and these law enforcement departments to learn and say, "Hold on a minute. Guy says I can't breathe. Guy goes into convulsions. Guy dies. So when a guy says I can't breathe, what do? Roll him over so he can breathe." So I wanted to point that out as well. I'm going to give you your video right now, and then I'm going to let you comment in the comment section on how you feel about all of this. Community Leo Watch, watching Leos. That's law enforcement officers, to include cops that let people breathe in Lansing, Michigan, from coast to coast.
Yo, this is crazy. Please don't kill him. Please don't kill him. Please don't kill him.
Why are you hitting me? Get out of your stomach! Get out of your stomach! Get out of your stomach! You need to get a paper right! Get out of your stomach!
Just get on your stomach, yo!
I'm sorry. I did it.
Hey, look, hey,
Please don't kill him!
put your fucking hands on your back. Put your hands on your back. Get out.
Sorry, bro. I'm really sorry.
Just get on your stomach, please! Oh god, man, don't fucking kill him.
Oh my God! John just beat my hand! Get up! I didn't do it! I'm sorry, bro. I didn't do it. I'm trying to work.